I'm a grown man with 2 kids.
Is that Rams defense the best in the NFL right now? We're at the touchscreen showing you exactly why Jalen Ramsey is a lockdown corner. That coming later in the show. Welcome to NFL Live. Keyshawn Johnson, Dan Orlovsky here, Marcus Spears, and Dan Graziano here also. Let's get right to the injury news with Graz just days away from the divisional rounds of the playoffs. Dan, what do we know about the Rams QB situation?
Yeah, it was a very interesting injury report, Laura, for the Rams yesterday. Jared Goff was listed as a full practice participant. He's only a couple of weeks removed from that thumb surgery, but John Wolford, who started the last game, did not practice yesterday with that neck injury that he suffered in that game. Of course, the big one is Aaron Donald. He has a rib cartilage injury. He did not practice yesterday, but he did speak to reporters today in LA and say he felt no pain and didn't want to talk about his bleeping side. So it sounds like he's at least mentally getting ready to play. The Cleveland Browns are going to get some reinforcements this week. Cornerbacks Denzel Ward and they're starting Kevin Johnson, both back from the COVID-19 list as of today, and they should be able to play in the game this weekend against the Chiefs. Obviously, Browns need all the help they can get there. And the Chiefs are back. They haven't played anybody in a couple of weeks, considering they rested their starters in Week 17. Running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire was out on the practice field today. We'll get the Chiefs' injury report in a little while, but it sounds like he is trending toward playing.
Oh, that'd be huge. Dan Graziano with us all show long, and you mentioned it, Dan. Feels like forever since we've seen Patrick Mahomes on the field. He rested the week before the wild card week, and then, of course, had that first round bye. So we finally see Mahomes back in action this weekend against the Browns, and he and the Chiefs look to defend their Super Bowl title. Mahomes today talking about what he needs to do in this game against the Browns to advance.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to focus on the fundamentals for myself. I think it's the biggest thing. Trusting the O-line, trusting the game plan, and get the ball to my hands. The good thing about this team is we have a lot of great playmakers that can make plays happen in space. And so if I'm getting the ball out of my hands and getting it to them, if that's holding it, stretching plays out and throwing deep passes, or if that's getting it out quick, whatever way in order to have success on the field, I'll try to do that.
Yeah, basically whatever I want to do. I bet.
Whatever you guys need me to do, I got it.
Mahomes has found plenty of success in the postseason as he has scored 30 points in all 5 of his career playoff games. His team's points ranked per game mark first among all quarterbacks with 5 playoff starts since 1950. That's according to Elias. Mahomes' team average is even a full touchdown more than the 4th quarterback on the list. That 4th quarterback's Aaron Rodgers. You see him there. All right, Dan, the question that really doesn't ever have a satisfying answer, right? But I'm going to ask it anyway. What is the Cleveland game plan to limit Mahomes? I'm not going to say stop, but limit him.
Yeah, first of all, they have to have a minimum of 3 drives that are all at least 7 minutes long plus that become touchdowns. Listen, there's no point in winning the time of possession battle if you're not going to score touchdowns, because explosive plays would mitigate that. So that's the mandatory thing for their offense. The second thing, know yourself and be realistic about who you are defensively, okay, Cleveland? You first of all have to demand that you only give up short passes to this offense. I don't care if you're dropping 8. I don't care if you're dropping 9 and he's getting 8, 9, 10-yard chunks. Make them drive the field 6, 7, 8 plays per drive at a minimum to chew up clock themselves, because if you play man coverage, we know that 15 can throw the ball downfield against man better than anybody in the NFL. So make them, as much as you can, work to earn their drives. Don't allow him to get out of the pocket and escape a ton. And then you got to get interior pressure. That's been the flaw, so to speak, of Kansas City's offensive line. So maybe Myles Garrett comes and rushes inside. I think fake field goals, fake punts. And the last thing I would say is this. Any single time you get past a 50 and it's 4th and 5 or less, you got to go for it. You got to score 40-plus to win this game. Sounds easy.
Woo! Yeah, no big deal.
I hate to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy.
That's why we got you, Key.
I don't know what they going to do, man, to be honest with you. I don't think they have a shot at winning this football game. I mean, to be honest with you, I look at it because Kansas City's not spotting them 28 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
This is not Pittsburgh. They're not going to do that. They may let you go up 10-0, may let you go up 13-0, but they're going to come and get you. They're not going to turn the ball over 4 times with interceptions. It's just not something they're going to do. They've got to run the football. They've got to do a lot of what you said, Dan.
Yeah.
But they've got to slow the game down.
For sure.
Limit the possessions. But even when you limit the possessions, keep your eyes on the prize because they can score quick, fast, and hurry.
I'm just saying, if the Browns end up somehow winning this game, Marcus, everyone's going to be putting all these laughs that we're having on blast. They'll be all over social media. But anyway,
I guess they can win if they kidnap the quarterback.
Well,
I guess.
It's possible. Let's hope. But we're not condoning kidnapping here on the show, though. Marcus, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Listen, I was on board. I was talking about the run game and time of possession. But honestly, y'all, I don't know if they can, but the only time we see the Chiefs lose is when they play an explosive offense. And for all intents and purposes, the Cleveland Browns have been explosive. So they have to hang their hat on that. I get all of that. Not giving Patrick Mahomes the ball a lot. But what type of game plan has worked? We saw the Tennessee Titans dominate in the run game and time of possession, and Pat Mahomes and that offense ate that up like it was nothing. We saw Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans in the playoffs go and do their thing, ate that up like that was nothing. We saw the San Francisco 49ers last year, who was the most dominant run team in the league. That didn't work against the Kansas City Chiefs either. Baker Mayfield is going to have to be elite. And he's shown sometimes this year that he can go toe-to-toe. That's the bottom line. We all know football, and Dan and Key are absolutely right. Yeah, you want to get turnovers. Myles Garrett needs to be the best player on either defense. But the bottom line is, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, you need to be as explosive as they can be. That's the only way Cleveland wins this game, in my opinion.
And Graziano, not to pile on, but nobody's brought up Andy Reid in this.
I mean, he's 26-5 coming off a bye in his career. That's with 12 to 14 days between games. That's not a fluke. That's a 31-game sample. Kevin Stefanski is obviously a great young coach and knows what he's doing. He was in high school when Andy Reid started as a head coach in the NFL. Andy knows how to prepare for this game, and given everything these other guys have said, plus that, it looks like it's going to be tough for Cleveland.
All right, listen, I'm not saying I'm picking the Browns, but I am going to say that no one gave him a chance against the Steelers either.
Well,
there you go.
I didn't give him a chance.
Yeah, you didn't.
Someone did.
Well, okay, you, Dan. Anyway, you don't count. We're just...
Sal Paolantonio reporting that the Bucs defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, is on the team's interview list in Philly. Bowles had head coaching experience with the Jets. He has Philly roots going back to when he played college ball at Temple in the mid-'80s. He's already interviewed with the Falcons. All things Philadelphia. No one knows the pulse better in that city than Sal Paolantonio, who joins us now. Sal, so we mentioned 3 early candidates, but there's another key name here. What can you tell us about the team's potential interest in Oklahoma's Lincoln Riley?
Well, there is a reliable report out there, Kevin, that GM Howie Roseman has reached out to Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. And it makes sense on a number of levels, right? He coached Jalen Hurts, who's now on the Eagles roster, as everybody knows, as a rookie quarterback to some acclaim at Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley is the kind of name that takes the sting out of releasing, letting go, firing, whatever word you want to use, Doug Peterson. And Howie Roseman likes to go for broke. But what I am hearing is that Lincoln Riley is happy at Oklahoma. He thinks he's got a good job. He's making $6.5 million a year. He's making more money right now than Doug Peterson would be at the Philadelphia Eagles. Doug has 2 more years on that contract, and that if he were interested in going to the NFL, it probably would be to go to the Dallas Cowboys. That is a job that he has been linked to. So the question is whether